Welcome. Reading Goodnight Stories with Bored Grandma. Hello, grandchildren. Grandma here. Are you ready for bed? Do you have your teeth brushed? If so, then here we go. Tonight I'm going to read to you The Farmer, His Son, and Their Donkey. One day, a farmer and his son were on their way to market. With them was their donkey, who carried the vegetables and fruit in a basket on his back. The day was very warm, and as they walked along the road, the man on one side of the donkey and the boy on the other, they had to stop often to wipe their brows. Presently, they passed a farmer's wife standing in the doorway. The farmer tipped his hat and said cordially, "Good morning. It's a nice day, isn't it?" "Good morning indeed," replied the woman. "It's a hot morning, that's what it is, and bound to get hotter. There you are, making that poor child walk in the sun. If he faints from the heat, it will all be your fault." The man stopped and thought about this. "She is right," he said at last, and he moved the baskets to make room for his son on the donkey's back. The boy was not comfortable on the crowded donkey, and he really liked to walk, but he said nothing. They went a little further until they passed a group of country people. An old man in a group cried out, "What a good-for-nothing boy! You ride while your poor old father walks. Shame on you!" The farmer stopped and thought for a bit. Then he asked his son to climb down from the donkey. "Let your poor old father ride," he said. His father was neither poor nor old, and the boy knew it. But he climbed down and he let his father take his place. Then they started off again. As they neared the edge of town, riding a horse. "Why aren't you both riding the donkey?" the man asked. "It's silly not to. I really think the donkey is smarter than the two of you." And he rode on, shaking his head at such a show of stupidity. "He's right," said the farmer. "It is silly for one of us to walk when we both can ride." It wasn't easy to make room on the donkey for both of them, but somehow they did so. Then they went on, more slowly now, until they reached the town. Presently they met a group of townspeople standing and talking together. "Just look at that," cried a woman. "How cruel to make that poor little donkey carry such a heavy load." "Yes, you should be ashamed," said one of the men. "You and your son are strong enough to carry that donkey. What clods you are." The farmer stopped and scratched his head. At last he said, "My son, they are right. We must always be kind to dumb animals. We will carry our donkey the rest of the way." So they lifted down the baskets of vegetables and fruit, and the farmer cut a pole and tied the donkey's legs to it. Then he put one of the baskets over his son's shoulders. The rest he carried himself. And so they went on, carrying the donkey upside down between them. In a little while they came to a bridge and started across. A group of boys were crossing the other way. They took one look at the donkey on the pole and bursted out laughing, pointing and making fun of the farmer and his son. They made so much noise that soon a larger crowd gathered and joined in the laughter. All the noise frightened the donkey, who hated being carried upside down anyway, and he began to struggle and kick. The ropes binding him to the pole broke, and his father, son, produce, donkey, all fell splash into the water. The farmer and his son swam safely to shore, but by the time the donkey had ran away, and all the vegetables and fruit were at the bottom of the stream, the father shook his head. "My son," he said, Always remember one thing. When you try to please everyone, you end up by pleasing no one. Please like and subscribe. The end. Now off to dreamland you go.